Prevalence. Let's just say that we will all have job security for quite some time, unfortunately. The demand has grown incredibly for services of children with autism spectrum disorders. It's now estimated somewhere around 1 in 110 births. I think that you'll see between 100 and 115 pretty commonly. That's based on statistics from the U.S. Department of Education and some other governmental agencies. So this means that autism is growing at a startling rate, 10 to 17% per year. Compared to in the 1970s when I started my career, it was about 2 to 5 per 10,000. So it was very rare. They were zebras, not horses. So it was very rare to see children with autism at that time. The increase in the number of children with autism it's really not known yet exactly. We do know that because we are better at diagnosing, that is one reason why there is an increase. Those children before, I can remember in my high school who had some really strong social issues. They may even, have been talking to their pencil behind a column or something, but had normal intelligence. Those children were never diagnosed before. So that whole range of children, I think, has brought in and increased the percentage of children who are diagnosed. However, we do think that there are other conditions, and so we're just not sure because it doesn't seem to be a singular condition that's causing the increase. They believe that there might be many tetragenic issues in our environment or even in our food or in our medicines, but not each one of them is a singular cause. So each one of them may interact with a body at risk in different ways, whereas it may not be a problem for another child who's not at risk. Much in the same way as some people can smoke all their lives and never get cancer, while someone can just experience secondary smoke and come down with lung cancer or severe kinds of cancer related to that condition. There are also other conditions that have shown prevalence growth, and that's asthma, allergies, diabetes, and other kinds of autoimmune disorders. Autism occurs 3 to 4 times more frequently than in males. This is true of almost all neurological conditions that we don't have medical testing for, actually. ADHD, learning disabilities, language disorders, and autism all occur more in males than females. About 80% of the studies investigated children with ASD. They described those children as having a mentally handicapping condition. Now you have to realize that their definition for describing someone as having a mental handicap is made by an intellectual assessment. So whereas I have a different view, I feel that if you have a mental handicapping disorder, what that means to me is that you need more repeated trials across the board to learn what you need to learn. For children with autism, I see their profile as more of a learning disabilities profile, because if I hit their learning style, if I match their learning style, for the most part, those children learn very quickly. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't have a child with autism who also has a mental handicapping condition. Those are not mutually exclusive diagnoses. But I do believe that this 80% is probably quite high, because they define mental handicapping condition as scoring below 80 on an IQ test. Boys are more likely than girls to be described as having mental handicapping conditions. Girls present, typically children with autism who are female present atypically and don't meet the kind of behavioral criteria in the same way as boys do.